with what was the guy that he's backing primarily? Well, you just mentioned his name ago. Never mind. I might apologize.
No, let me
I didn't write it down.
All right, let me explain. He went on Gaia TV. So people, you need to learn how to follow the money if you really want to be a researcher and a ufologist or an alienologist or a historian. I'm quoted as being a journalist, investigative reporter, or investigator most of my life. I was a private investigator. I was a government investigator. I was a legal investigator. And you'll have to look in. There's 3 different terms. And private investigators are private, like independent, and then legal works for attorney. Okay, works for an attorney, and government works for the government. And I went in and out of country, for those of you that know what I'm talking about. So I dated Secret Service that worked for George Bush. I dated FBI agents in Houston, Texas. I met many times with FBI agent. It was Officer Brown, their Special S.A. Brown, in Birmingham, Alabama, while I was a private investigator. And then the Men in Black came to visit me. They visited me in 1967, again in 1987, and again in 2007. And there's a lot of agencies out there. There really are Men in Black. And I've been interviewed by someone, well, more than once. But there's a lot of things about me that I've kept secret from time to time because my husband, in his position with as Sergeant Morris and working for President Reagan direct, and he didn't want me to share a lot of information till he passed over. But I now have permission. He passed over. He's on the other side. I guess I'm like Whitley Strieber. Isn't it Whitley Strieber that thinks he still talks to his wife, Ann Strieber? Or is that wrong?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is? Okay, I don't want to misquote.
Okay.
But
I'll be quiet since I'm not positive.
But he's a big name too, right? Whitley Strieber, Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine paved the way out on a limb, gave us permission to talk about channels.
Yeah. I met Shirley at her place up in northern New Mexico when I was up there for a few weeks working. So, yep. It's funny how we've crisscrossed people, you and myself, and never really worked together. But now we have the opportunity to use the experiences you had and the experiences I have, put it together in one package, and hopefully we can get a lot more truth out.
Yes, and I want everybody to understand the levels we're talking about because there's going to be the 3D reality. Some people call it inside the matrix, but it takes all of us on the planet, and we call it the critical mass mind in actual reality. But when I've spoken in 2016 at the Mid-South Conference at the Memphis Hilton was my first speaking engagement coming out about UFOs, my books, and that was with Bill M. Tracer, who has been a wonderful co-host on Saturday nights and Sundays. And he may be coming back if he wants to help talk about religions or theosophy or philosophy or world religions that have fallen off in ancient cultures. But we may do that on Sundays with Don Garrett and Bill M. Tracer if we can arrange it because Don Garrett's 83 years old and a Baptist preacher. But we can do Sundays with Bill M. Tracer. But the point is, I came out in the paranormal world, so the key was paranormal. And the FBI agent told me, as long as I stayed under the paranormal with them, CIA Weird Desk, I guess I've been under both. They know me. They still let me talk on radio and TV and YouTube, is the fact that this stuff is sort of unbelievable. Unexplained phenomena, it's sort of supernatural, weird, spooky. And would they know that in television, everybody's going to their direct channel free. Anybody can do live from your cell phone. So every one of us can be a reporter from our cell phone. You can put it right on Facebook. And you can go on Facebook and report live, and a lot of our people are. So just remember, you're giving out free information on you and everything that you see and do and put in free social media, including me and Ken. So we have a lot of groups out there. including UFO Secret Space. Look us up, UFO Secret Space. I have Ufology 101, and I have Paranormal Network. So get involved with us and TJ Mars Agency. Where do you want to go with this now? Because we're covering that's on the planet, and then those people that are doing events and talking about their memories. Because Corey's is memories, and he has made, look him up on LinkedIn. I believe he was asking for a graphic artist. I'll go look him up. But Corey Good come up a long way, and he is doing his own company now, Corey Good. So back to you. You wanted to talk about Emery Smith, David Wilcox. So to bring you back while you were asking me to remember somebody. Emery Smith, Corey Good, David Wilcox, Gaia TV. Your turn.
I guess my not concern, but one of the biggest things that you get taught to do, and I've learned the hard way, and that is you can listen to a lot of people and they can sound absolutely like they know everything in the world, and you until you can vet it is a good term to use, and you can do your own research and you can check it out to find out. Now, I'm going to remain more neutral on some of these because if they rely just strictly on memory, then I want to know where the memory came from, okay, and just how actual and real it is. So I remain kind of a little on the side on some of these, and they're making a lot of money coming on TV and doing all that. So there's a lot of motivations for different ways. And I'm not going to say that's what it is, but in my case, when I came forward, I have records, I have documents, I have government published information and material to back up everything that I've done and said with regards to our space program, and those of us that did the testing and things that we really did. And I just love it when somebody says, "Oh, well, we never went to the moon," and give me about 5 minutes talking to them, and I'll have them on their knees saying, "Well, I guess I better go back and check that out." I said, "Yes, you better," and that's the same thing I'm saying with. And forgive me, I really have enjoyed meeting David Wilcox, and I like his program. I've been listening this week, as a matter of fact, to hours of his Gaia program. But then Corey Good, on the other hand, I've been listening to his too. And I guess if you were just to have only the information that has come out in the hypnotic regression sessions with me, you'd probably be just as concerned about, can that really be true? And that if that's the attitude you may have, well, that's fine. Do the research and find out if it's really true. Now, with Andy Bishago, he had some very interesting events take place in his life that crisscrossed mine. And so that made me step back and kind of take a second look at Bishago's and saying, well, you know what? I need to do some more regression and find out more about those periods in my life where here's something people have to understand. Usually when you have been taken, and that's a good way to put it, and put into these places, either on Mars or what have you, and you spend time there, but when you come back, that memory has been washed, and you're put back in the timeline. Let's face it, manipulating time is something else that is, we might want to talk about a little bit in another event, that I'm convinced has been provided to our societies or to our cabal, if you will. And so this is where I'm concerned on being sure that I know exactly what these people are talking about and be sure that it's true. So that's where I'm staying here kind of neutral, but I'm really enjoying the information they're providing because I'm convinced that I've been a part of that. I just need to have the rest of the information and know where to get the proof. So once I have the proof, of course, the hypnotic regression, it becomes totally real in my mind. So we'll see where we're going from there. What do you think about that, TJ?
True. Dr. Sala on exopolitics.org has an interesting. I like Dr. Sala, and some people say he's naive, and other people say he's right on. So who do you believe, right? But just to promote real quick, Dr. Michael Sala, because he's been on our radio show, he was very sweet to me, and he was, although he didn't do much of an investigation, he didn't come back to me for the information that I knew about Bill William Tompkins, right? You and I were talking about William Tompkins, and Janet met him, and he didn't follow up. So as far as investigations, people may not do a thorough investigation. It's what I would like to suggest. Now, on his site, and I'm not pro or con Dr. Sala, but I do like his exopolitics.org for what it's worth. So each person will have to decide if you and I are reporting what we believe is our truth versus Dr. Michael Sala on Corey Goode. But they said you'll just have to read it for yourself, folks. Go to exopolitics.org, hoax investigation, secret space programs exposed. Now, you don't know if that's pro or con, but I happen to know that Dr. Sala is working with Corey Goode again this year with Joan Ocean at her get-together on the Big Island, where Tommy Hawksblood, I have to now say, Thomas Anthony Sinisi, also known as Tommy Blood Sinisi, and he has his own reasons for having a pen name. It was internal, and he's talked about it many times, so it's not a secret. Some of us have real names and some of us don't. Some of us have our pen names, our actor names, like Cher. I never did know Cher's real name, even though I met her in person. I met her, and I've been with her husband, Sonny Bono, so I know they exist. I've seen them with my own eyes. I've been with him. I've been with Bob Hope. I've been with Bing Crosby, Frank Grosjean, Anita Bryant. Oh, my God, so many people. So I know they're real. Now, the difference is I haven't seen Corey Goode in person, but a lot of people have. But they've also seen Bill Ryan of Project Avalon and Richard Dolan speaking. They've also seen Dr. Stephen Greer and how he uses some woo-woo to some people, and other people it's right on because he puts you in an alpha state or a meditative state, and we say beta, alpha, theta, delta, gamma, sigma, tau for the 7 levels of thought processes. And they're different waves, and then they say they see CE5 level, or they make contact with extraterrestrials. Now, I'm going to plug him just because tonight we're mentioning a lot of names in our business, but it's a UFO association business, folks. We associate, but we have our UFO Secret Space group, which is on Facebook, which is a free social media spot. There's secret space programs, and then Corey Goode. But do you go over and read stuff about Dr. Sala, Ken, or is that putting you on the spot?
No, not actually. I've met him on a couple of occasions in contact with Desert Cell and all these other people that have been there that you're just mentioning. I've had the pleasure of meeting and talking with him. I have Dr. Sala's books that he's autographed to me, and I've been reading them all. And that's about the extent of my direct knowledge of what he's backing and what he's talking about. And I'm very impressed with what he's put out there so far. So we're making a lot of progress. I want to keep it moving.
Well, okay, we'll keep it moving then. Okay, I'm going to put mentioned Dr. Sala mentioned, and I'm not pro or con. He's just a human that I've had on this radio station, which is TJ Morris ET Radio, and my company. I had to form a bona fide legal company. Is ACO, or American Communication Online. So, Ken, what would you like to talk about? Back to you. You can take it wherever you want to go.
Well, I'm not sure I really understood which area you were wanting me to go in, so you kind of hit me again.
Okay, direct you. Okay, I can do that. Well, I had just talked about Dr. Sala, and we're talking about people in the business, whether we're not saying that we're pro or con or we're endorsing anybody, just so you know, but we will be discussing websites, links, some of the news in the future, Ken, for those that are in the real military and the ones like the critical mass mind that all of us affect the 3D world. But also a lot of my friends in the Ascension Age like to talk, like I'm an Ascension psychic, and I do tarot readings, Ken. and we do the Akashic field like Sylvia Brown, Miss